Hello friends and welcome back to our virtual preschool this week. We are continuing our lesson about day and night. So yesterday we talked about the daytime and today we're going to talk about the nighttime. But before we get started, I would like to play a name game with you, and I have everybody's name written on these cards, and I'm going to pull the yellow paper away a little bit and you can see if you can guess if it's your name or not. So this person's name begins with the letter B, and we'll see what letter comes next. Letter R. Whose name starts with B-R? Y N spells Bryn. Hi Bryn, nice for you to join us. Okay, next, I guess maybe I should just hold it. This person's name starts with B R Y C E spells Bryce. Hi Bryce. Alright. You already saw that one, so now I have to turn them over. Okay, so the next person's name starts with the I. Whose name starts with I? S A C. That spells Isaac. Hi, Isaac. All right, next person. This person's name starts with an L, and we have 3 friends whose name starts with an L, so we'll have to listen closely. It says E, L, L, A, spells Ella. Hi, Ella. Okay, the second E name starts with E, followed by M, A. That spells Emma. Hi, Emma. Okay, we got 2 more. Did I call your name yet? If not, keep watching. The third E name starts with an E, Z, R, A. That spells our friend Ezra. Hi, Ezra. And our last friend's name starts with an L, followed by an A, R, R, Y. That spells Larry. Hi, Larry. All right, so we're going to talk about the sun going down, which means when it becomes nighttime. So this is actually a picture that I took when we were on our vacation at the lake, and we went to the beach to watch the sun go down, which is called the sunset. And the sun was going down into the water like this, and then when it goes all the way down, what happens outside? It gets dark, right? So we can't see without flashlights or car lights, our headlights on our car. And then different animals come out at night. We get ready for bed at night, those sort of things. So we're going to talk about when the sun goes up. Hello, Mr. Sun. That's the daytime. That's the sunrise. And when the sun goes down, that's the sunset, and that means night. So we have day is when the sun is out, and night is when the sun is away. Do you know the song called Mr. Sun? When the sun is out, let's sing it together. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind a tree. These little children are asking you to please come out so we can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. So, one thing you'll notice about day and night is they're opposites. So the daytime is when it's sunny and the nighttime is when it's dark. So we're going to talk about opposites and play a little game and sing a little song about opposites. It goes like this. Do you know the opposite, the opposite, the opposite? What's the opposite of day? What's the opposite of day? Gabriella?
Night.
Night. That's what we were just talking about, right? Do you know the opposite, the opposite, the opposite? Do you know the opposite? What's the opposite of up? If we go up, what's the opposite? We go down, right? So up and down are opposites. All right, let's do one more. Do you know the opposite, the opposite, the opposite? Do you know the opposite? What's the opposite of asleep? If I'm sleeping, what's the opposite of that? I'm awake, right? So I'm sleeping in my bed and then I wake up. And that's the opposite, right? So we have some cards here that we're going to look at. And I don't know if you can zoom in a little closer. But this card is small. We have a small mouse. What's the opposite of small? Gabrielle?
Big. Large.
Big or large, right? So we have a small animal and a big or large animal. Those are opposites. Okay, this one we have, oh, and by the way, you have these cards in your packet this week, so you can get them out and work on them with your grown-up or your friend or your sister or brother. Okay, so we have a dirty card, and what's the opposite of dirty? Gabriella?
Clean.
Clean, you're right. So the dirty car and the clean car are opposites. Good job. Now this opposite you should know because we just talked about it, right? So this is a picture of what nighttime looks like. And the opposite of night is day. So night and day are opposite. All right, let's do two more. This girl is holding a stop sign. So this is a stop. What's the opposite of stop, Gabriella?
Go.
Go, you're right. So we have the green light on this traffic light. So stop and go are opposites. All right, let's do one more. Okay, this is a picture of a boy, and this is his back. What's the opposite of back? Front. So front and back are opposite. Good job. Okay, next up, we are going to read this cool book called Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues, because what happens at nighttime? We go to bed, right? So tomorrow's video is going to be about pajamas, and we're going to read a cool book about and have a pajama party. Pete and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's place, let's go. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. That's not very nice if Toad is keeping him up, is it? This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some Z's when rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard, uh-oh, what do you think's going to happen next? Munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was Alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping, rat-a-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tatting, and no more munching. They all settled down. No one made a sound. Pete yawned and then turned off the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing sun and tons of fun. The end. So sometimes we don't like to go to bed, but we have to go to bed and get some sleep so we can have fun on the next day, right? Alright, so the last thing I want to show you today is this foil painting project that was in your packet this week. You received a purple piece of paper with foil on it and your very own set of paint and a paintbrush. So the cool thing with this project is you can paint however you want. So I'm just going to make some hearts because I like hearts for Valentine's Day that's coming up. So I'm just going to paint my heart picture. Just like so. See, here's my beautiful heart. And then next I want to make some beautiful dots because I like polka dots. And I have kind of a pinkish purple because I mixed the color with blue. So here's my picture of a heart and some beautiful dots. And again, you can paint your picture however you would like. And if you want to take a picture of it and send it to me, I'd love to see what you made, okay? Alright, so that's it for me tonight. And tomorrow we are going to talk about animals that come out at night. They're called nocturnal animals. And we're going to wear our PJs. I'm going to wear my PJs, okay? So I'll see you then. Goodbye.